The two most important facts. My husband is wonderful, but he has little contact with most of his family. My father is half Vietnamese, half Black, and the son of an American soldier and his war bride. My husband's family's never really accepted that he married me. They're not outwardly hostile, but not welcoming or inclusive. It doesn't really bother me. We love each other and our children, and my parents think the world of Danny. We live in the San Francisco area, and most of his family lives in Utah. We rarely interact. This year, Father's Day lines up with Danny's grandfather's 80th birthday, so their family threw a huge party. They invited Danny, but literally wrote that they would understand if me and the kids couldn't attend. It was such an obvious slap in the face. I wasn't going to take it. I studied genetics at university and noticed some interesting things about Danny's family. We RSVP'd that we would love to come celebrate as a family. I even spent a lot of my money to buy a special gift for the family. You get a DNA test, and everyone gets a DNA test. I felt like an evil version of Oprah. The faces some of the people made when I presented my gift told me everything I needed to know. One of the biggest problems was caused by my one sister-in-law, going around snatching them away from her kids. My husband's grandfather thanked me and was oblivious to the grenades being passed around by the family. We also got him a lovely handmade cable knit sweater. Boy, oh boy, did I cause a commotion. My husband heard from his sister that some of his siblings and cousins took the kids away as soon as they could. So did some aunts and uncles, which started an avalanche of questions. I feel very guilty about what I did. My husband thinks it's hilarious, but he has a low sense of humor. Am I the idiot for gifting my in-laws DNA kits? Edit. My husband's family is Mormon. Certain physiological traits are inherited, and certain eye colors are incredibly rare, and webbed toes. Not like a frog or anything, just not following expected genetic traits. It'll be at least a month before any results come back, if any get sent away. One sister-in-law is going around snatching them away from her kids. Bombastic side-eye, not the idiot. God forbid her kids find out their uber-religious holier-than-thou mommy is a hoe. Bet they're all sister and brother cousins. Who else had a negative reaction? I hope the cheaters get sent to the streets. One of the greatest joys of my life was telling my very racist father about our Nigerian ancestry. It's only 0.2%, but he didn't need to know that. Brava, you went through that like a mischievous fae, spreading DNA kits like glitter. It's almost as if you've reminded them of something, like casting stones when you reside in a house of glass. I'm with your husband. It is hilarious. Anyone who refuses your gift plants a seed of doubt that'll only grow louder. I love it. Utter mayhem. Well played. You've probably thrown a great big honking grenade into that family. Keep pestering them for the results because you're curious. Please update us on how pure their blood really is. I love it when morons learn about their scientific ancestry instead of the glorified ultra-whitewashed version they brag about. I push the whole only cheaters are scared of DNA test. I suspect they're more frightened of being proven to be adulterous whores rather than having historically non-white blood. Racists could spin some kind of story about family history, but finding out that Bishop John or Brother Henry is the father to half of the family kids and that those ideals of godly white womanhood among the in-laws are just harlots, that's just pure delight, LOL. This is going to be one big happy family. My wife and I, both 46, have 2 kids, Amelia, a teen female, and Logan, a male tween. It's back to school season at every store around us, and school starts in mid-August for them. My wife and I agreed that she would take Amelia shopping and I would take Logan shopping. She took Amelia shopping today as it was her day off, and I planned on taking Logan over the weekend since he has soccer camp on weekdays. I was at work while they were shopping, so I didn't hear from them until I got home. My expectation is that the kids get clothes and supplies for school. We also give them each a budget of up to $300, which never gets spent completely. This might be excessive to some, but please refrain from commenting on it, especially since clothes are expensive these days. We only buy from higher-end stores since we want their clothes to last the year. We buy them clothes for the entire year, and it's for both supplies and clothes. When I came home and asked my daughter what she got, she showed me the clothes she had. She just got a few outfits and some extra clothing to mix and match outfits. She also got a new backpack, jewelry, a couple of makeup things, a water bottle, and a stationery set. I thought that was it, but then she brought out a couple of other bags. She got a pina colada candle from a candle store, a stuffed toy from Build-A-Bear, and a couple of books. I asked how she got them, and she said that there was a sale going on at the clothes store, meaning she got a discount on a lot of the clothes in the backpack, and the rest she got from clearance. She realized she had money left over after, so my wife allowed her to get some extras. I was angry and told her she was going to take the extra stuff back, but she got upset and said no. My wife said she had the money, so she's allowed to. I said she wasn't allowed to just buy frivolous things when we went back to school shopping, and that Logan would be asking me to get him extra stuff too, if he saw this. She called me an idiot and said that Amelia followed the rules, so who cares if she got something extra? She doesn't need those extra things though, and whatever was left unspent, we're supposed to take back. Am I the idiot? Not a pina colada candle. Have you called CPS? You are the idiot. Your wife did not exceed the budget. But the real question is, why are you trying to tell a grown, darn 46-year-old woman how to spend money? Are you her daddy? Check yourself. Your wife is an equal partner, and if you want to be your wife's dad, guess what? She should treat you like a dad and stop sleeping with you. You can't have it both ways, my dude. Kudos to your wife for taking your daughter on what sounds like an amazing day of bonding, only to have it ruined by Mr. I'm your poppy. Take a seat, Eddie Guerrero. Your wife sounds competent. It's harder for my son to budget because he's growing, so he goes through clothes faster than she does, meaning he has to buy more. He gets a new pair of shoes every year, and he won't wear anything but Nikes, which are expensive. I've tried to get him to budget, but even if we try, he ends up going over or close to over. He also sees clearance as poor people's clothes, so he won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'm still mad that she bought stuff that was outside the budget, and she doesn't need those extra things though. I was going to buy this cocktail set either way, but whatever was left was going towards it. She doesn't need those extra things though. I mean, does she need you? Ugh, your son gets the full $300 to spend on fancy shoes, but daughter should give up part of her budget so you can get yourself a cocktail set? What a selfish, greedy idiot of a man. I also don't know what higher-end stores mean to you, but multiple outfits in higher-end don't mean under a couple hundred. Higher-end must mean Target or Walmart instead of Goodwill. The son sounds like the golden child. Oh, he doesn't like sale clothes, and he refuses to wear anything but Nike. So how can I possibly set boundaries? And yes, he goes over budget, but what do you expect me to do? Treat him equally to his sister and make him cut back? You are the idiot, a million times over. I have a daughter, Ava, 18 female, and a stepdaughter, Mia, 22 female. Mia's mom has primary custody of her, so I only saw her for a few weekends a year growing up. However, she went to college near me and my husband, so we are a lot closer now. I have a job at a big fashion company, and we get clothing for free. Like if it didn't sell or sample pieces and the rest is donated. When I first started, I got a beautiful silk mini dress that I love, and I've kept it in very good condition. After having my kids, it's more of a tight fit, so I usually pick something more comfortable. It fits Ava perfectly, and she borrows that dress all the time, and it looks great on her. Mia asked me to borrow the mini dress for a wedding, and I let her. She came over yesterday for dinner and showed us pictures of her at the wedding, and she looked stunning, but I noticed she had altered the dress. Mia is much shorter than me and Ava, so the dress when she tried it on in front of me was knee-length on her. However, at the time she insisted it was fine. In the pictures it was a mini dress, which is how it sits on me and Ava. Mia admitted that she got home and preferred how it looks on Ava, so she got it altered. However, she didn't cut the fabric, just hemmed it, so I should be able to get the dress back after picking out the stitches. I got upset at Mia, and when she handed me the dress, it would be very hard to get the dress back to its original state. Taking out the stitches could leave holes in the silk, and the dress fits more like a long top now. I asked Mia to reimburse me for the dress, and I told her I was upset she had stitched and altered it without asking me before. She said she didn't know that she couldn't stitch silk, and it was an accident. My husband said Mia made a mistake in asking her to reimburse me for the dress that I got for free, which at its original price is a lot more than she can afford as a college student. He said I shouldn't have let her borrow the dress if it meant so much to me. I accounted for Mia spilling something on the dress or getting it dirty, but I don't think it was fair of her to alter it without asking me, and I can't wear it as a dress anymore. I am quite upset about the dress, so maybe asking her to pay full price is too much, but she is an adult, and it wouldn't be fair of me to treat her like a child. I think this is an issue where you need to try to undo the modifications with the tailor first with Mia present. Ask Mia for the name of the person who altered it, and go talk to them all together about how to get it back. If they can get it back with no holes, then problem solved. If they can't, then Mia needs to be there to hear that and understand the consequences of her actions. I call crap on Mia's ignorance of how to handle silk. Not the idiot. She's an adult at 22. She borrowed something and through her own actions cannot return it in the same condition it was given to her. Common courtesy and common sense is that she replaces the item. She shouldn't necessarily have to give you the cash, but she could make an effort to resolve the problem as best as possible and get you a replacement at the very least. I'm kind of amazed at the cluelessness that she had it altered without asking you, and then that she was going to give it back still altered. Ask her to borrow her car, then give it back to her without doors and with a broken windshield. Is Mia jealous of Ava? You said the dress fits Ava perfectly, and she's borrowed it several times. The altering was definitely done on purpose, but what's the true reason? Also, considering that she did not call the owner and ask for permission when she suddenly changed her mind at home, you need to show her dad this so he knows how bad his daughter really is. Sorry, Dad, you're raising a brat. I assume this is absolutely the last time Mia's ever borrowed anything of yours. My ex-husband and I have 3 children. It was a difficult split as he left while I was pregnant with our twins, and he tried to make everything as difficult as possible. He and his wife want me to do a paternity test on the children, as they're disputing that our youngest is his, and he no longer wants to pay child support for her. His wanting to reduce his child support has been an ongoing issue. For the last 5 years, he hasn't had a problem regarding the paternity of any of our children. He's now stating that he doesn't think our daughter is his, and that I've cheated because she doesn't look like him. She doesn't look much like me either. She does have green eyes like mine. Both of us are pale with light-colored hair and eyes. Our daughter has dark hair that is thick and curly. She looks mixed-raced, and she's the only one who looks this way. Her twin brother looks like my ex-husband. My daughter looks like my grandmother, who was mixed-raced and white passing. I'll be honest, me and his wife do not get along. I mean, it's hard to get along with the woman your husband left you for. She keeps trying to shove herself into my children's lives and acting like their mom. She keeps insisting that she's mama and that they should refer to her as that. They have refused to call her that, which always ends with my ex calling me frustrated that the children won't give her respect. She's recently been pointing out that my youngest looks darker than her siblings and suggesting that my youngest isn't my ex-husband's. I'm close with my former sister-in-law, my ex's brother's wife, and she told me before my ex did that he wanted a paternity test and was going to stop paying child support for her. She's also said that my ex and his wife are once again having money issues. I had already suspected this, as he had stopped taking them on weekends because he was having to work overtime. Before people tell me to document this, I have documented everything. I refuse to answer his calls, which forces him to either text or email me so that I can keep conversation records, as I don't trust him. After I found out about him wanting a paternity test, I told him that I wasn't going to consent to him doing a paternity test on the children, and that the only way he was getting one is if he took me to court. He told me that it was clear our daughter wasn't his, and that she didn't look like her siblings. He argued that he couldn't afford court, and I was holding his money hostage by forcing him to pay for a child who wasn't his. He has now apparently been whining about me on Facebook about how I cheated on him and am forcing him to raise another man's child, and forced him to sign the birth certificate. I didn't. He wasn't even there, but as we were still married, I could put him on without him being there. I don't follow him, but I had one of his friends try to confront me about it. I want my children to have a relationship with their dad, and I feel like this is stopping them. On the other hand, I know there'll be something else he or his wife will take issue with down the line. Am I the idiot for refusing to do a paternity test? Edit. Yep. He only thinks one of the twins is his. I wish I could explain why he believes that, but he was never the smartest. My ex wants me to pay for the paternity test. He doesn't want to because of his financial situation, which is why I told him to take it to court and get a court-mandated one. If I were to pay for it, he would want another one because he'd think that I tampered with it as I paid for it. He did the same when I had the house valued, so I could give him half. He didn't like what the first person valued it at, so had to get another. I know I haven't cheated on him, and she is his. So he thinks only one of his twins isn't his. Oh, he's a moron. That explains a lot. Also rich coming from this dude who left you for someone else. Knew a woman who had twin boys. She was white, and the father was black. One kid looked white and the other looked black. He accused her of cheating. She did paternity tests and, surprise, the twins were his. They're no longer together. If he wants to pay, let him. Of all the BS, this is the last thing you should contest. Exactly. You have a bigger problem than your deadbeat ex wanting a paternity test. What are the two of them putting your children through? What are they saying to your daughter about her looks, that she doesn't belong, etc.? Even if there is a paternity test somewhere down the road, she's subjected to this now. Maybe she's too young to fully understand, but it's certainly planting some seeds. You're also probably correct that even agreeing now, there will be another soap opera to deal with. My concern as well. Also, you don't deny one of your kids because of a financial crisis. If I were OP, I'd take him to court over it and go for full custody of all children. This is completely cruel to those children. Who knows what they hear when at Dad's house? He does know what he's doing. It's purposeful. He goes out of his way to call OP to complain and pushes them to call stepmom mom. He was trashed before his financial crisis. Hun, find out if there's a legal services place in your area. Then go to family court and ask them for the forms for child support enforcement with an option for garnishment of wages. Explain the situation and see what you need to do to get a court-ordered DNA test. Do everything you can through the courts. Once paternity is established, talk to the court about a sole custody modification because your ex's wife is fostering a hostile and mentally and emotionally abusive environment for your kids. He doesn't want to be in their lives. Burn that ground and salt it. Establish paternity, then ruthlessly give him what he wants and not having anything to do with them, but make sure any child support is garnished directly from his paychecks.